Hello. So I was like looking through like my heroes and stuff, and then I noticed something on Keira. They made a change. They actually killed her. She's dead. I'm so sorry, Keira. You deserved so much better. Yeah, I just noticed they changed it, which I thought was a bit weird, but I guess they're like I said, new hero, Larry. I think she's supposed to be undead too. Like I said, she has a bunch of buffs with the undead and stuff, but I was like, wait, they made Keira undead. So because I was just looking at her skill here, because right, her ascension, like when you unlock her ascension, this one here, she is resurrected after death, like her health has resurrected, because used to say she'd become undead after death. Now they just made her undead the whole time, which I don't know, I think is more flavorful for her to become undead after death. Like so I thought that was a super flavorful theme. But I think they really just want to kind of push the undead team now. Heroes with Undead Special. Like said, this is like said, so seems to be something they're pushing. But yeah, like said, Keira, she wasn't always like this. When the game first launched, Keira actually looked more like Wonder Woman. Like said, she had this. She actually had legs, guys. She used to have legs, and then they killed her, and then she became this like frosty thing. But now she's like actually undead. Poor girl has just been through the arena. She keeps getting more killed, more dead. Like said, she had the ability where she became undead. Now she's fully undead. So she's pretty much been murdered about 3 times in this game at this point. So you gotta feel for the poor girl. She definitely deserves better. But yeah, no. So if Lyria is fully undead though, like if she's an undead too, then you would actually have 5 undead heroes. So I don't know if you'd actually play all 5. Like I said, I mean, like with the undead, like a lot of these team gimmicks, like nobody actually plays an undead team. Even like that, I mean, just like sometimes you use Corvus and Morgan together, not because necessarily because they're both undead, but because they're just like it might make sense to use them both, right? Morgan Ludd is probably the most used of these heroes, just because she is a hard counter to Rufus. Rufus is a popular defense option, so you'll develop Morgan as an answer to Rufus. Morgan has some other like useful abilities, like just her ability to summon the undead minions. Um, he is useful for like I said, can be good kind of a soft counter versus Dante or Arachne because they will target the minions instead of your heroes. So she's actually a hero with a lot of utility. Like you don't use her because she breeds her own undead army. You don't need to put her with Corvus or anyone else, right? She's good on her own. Right, like and right, and Corvus, like I said, sometimes you'll use Corvus just by himself because he has some good abilities. He's a pretty good soft counter versus heroes. Let's see, Alter Soul's pretty good soft counter against heroes like Yasmin or Keira, or like some other heroes who do lots of damage like Heidi or like Maya. Like I said, any hero who does lots of like AE damage and stuff, like he is kind of a soft counter to those heroes, just because every time they do damage to one of your allies, they'll take a bunch of pure damage. So right, because when you do AE damage, you're hitting multiple heroes, it can get really add up really quickly. So he's really good, like I said. So he's have a role, but it's like you never really see a team of undeads all together. Lyria is supposed to be like per pre-order, like tomorrow or the day after tomorrow, like said later, like said in a day or two. And I'll probably do another video about her when that happens. But I did do a video about her already, like the preview video where I just talked about her anti-dodge skill, which definitely has a lot of potential. It just really depends on how powerful that skill is. Like I said, it could definitely be meta changing. Of course, there's a lot of heroes. You never know if they're going to be good or not. And some heroes take a while before they shake up the meta. Like Folio, he hasn't, like I said, he's the newest hero. Haven't really found a place for Folio yet. He's here. Don't really see anybody using him yet. I haven't really found a use for him. He has some interesting abilities, but it might take some time. Like Amira was a hero that took like 6 months before she found a place. Now you see her a lot, but if she didn't see her like at all for like the first 6 months. So sometimes takes some time, but right, but the fact that they changed Keira does make me feel like they're gonna try to push this undead narrative, like this undead like style, like and if you can actually hose dodge with Lyria, if you can actually like remove dodge for the problems like Marksmen is that dodge kind of makes them unviable, except for Dante, who is a marksman. But it's like there's pretty much 3 marksmen that see any play, right? You have guild battles, so marksman, you got what we got? Lara, you got Ju, and then there's Dante. Right, who is here. Those are like the three marksmen who actually see play, and then you have like all the other marksmen who don't see much play because it's just they said like these ones are just strong on their own. Like Lara has an E stun you can use, make take advantage of. Ju just doesn't die and he attacks the backline. Dante's a dodge buffer, right? So they have a lot of utility that makes them valuable, that actually lets them be relevant. Like I said, so Keira, like I said, she can kill teams fast, except if they're dodging, all you're doing is feeding energy because physical attacks, like physical damage has been in such a bad place for such a long time that Marks, like I said, there's all kinds of cool marksman heroes that are just not worth using. I've done videos about this past, like Darkstar, cool kit, but you would never use her. Artemis, again, she just feeds energy to the enemy team. Ginger, same thing. You said they're just completely unviable. Kira's like borderline viable just because she does have a down. She can kill certain teams really quickly, but again, because she's a physical attacker and dodge is so prevalent in the metagame, she's just not really worth it. So if Lyria can actually make marksman viable, especially Keira viable, by also like being undead and boosting that anti-dodge aura, she could potentially be really, like I said, maybe she'll make a comeback. But yeah, too bad about her being dead. But yeah, like, so I don't see any other changes with her, like other than the description of her ascension. No longer says after death, she becomes undead. Like I said, I do think it was more flavorful before. I like the whole, come back as an undying rage. So come back as an undead was kind of a cool, flavorful gimmick, I guess. It's kind of a gimmick. It didn't really matter that much, but it was cool. It was, flavorful, but now she's just undead. Oh, and there's Phobos. You should talk about Phobos. He's, like I said, one of those heroes that, again, I just don't see him played much, and when I do, it's not usually in an undead team. It's usually, I don't usually see him paired with Morgan or Corvus. He's usually, there to, like, kind of counter specific heroes, because he's a control hero. His main skill is paralysis. Right, so he has, like I said, this is actually a pretty good ability because it targets the enemy with the highest physical attack. So this can try to, like I said, if against certain teams, this can try to take down on a Sebastian really quickly. Like, this is sometimes the main place I'll see him. Let's see if we can even see anybody in the arena. Is anybody running Phobos? Don't see him too much these days, so... You see a lot of Lars and Dantes, but I talk about how Dantes and Lara are like the viable marksmen. That's exactly what I mean. Yeah, not seeing Phobos anywhere up here. Hey, there's a Keira. Oh, there's a Phobos right here. See, here's Phobos. So you don't have any of the undeads. They're just kind of, he's not played in undead. He's just kind of used as kind of like a utility, like control hero for like certain teams. You might put him here. It's like those team doesn't have any kind of, status effect prevention. So this kind of, this is a pretty easy team for a lot of people to beat. You can literally just stun lock it or whatever. But yeah, like I said, when I see Phobos, it's never with undeads. He's just kind of there. Undead just one of those tags that exist on him, like just cause, like, so it's almost all these other tags. Like, I did a video about Tristan recently where it's like he has this ability called Blessed, right? Like said, cool, like potentially you get bonuses, he gets bonus energy when the hero is blessed, or like said, but really the best hero to pair him behind is actually Aurora, who is not blessed. She gets to spam dodge buffs, she gets extra bonus gain, and that's actually better bonus for Tristan than any of the actual blessed heroes. So it's just kind of like, they're just more of a gimmick. They haven't been relevant, so we'll have to see if Undead is actually relevant now. I kind of think it probably won't matter that much. If Lyria's good, she'll have to be good on her own. Like, if she needs to be built, like have a whole team around her, I don't think she would find much of a place in a metagame. Like I said, Lyria, for her to really shake up the metagame, she'll have to be strong on her own, right? Like Sebastian, the best hero in the game, like I said, you put him in literally any team, like it just, like I said, because he is the best support. Like people, like I said, Otis Rennie, best ability in the game. You put this guy in literally any team, doesn't really matter. You don't need to even put him with physical attackers. Like he has all these buffs that buff physical attackers, and you'll see him in mage teams just because his control his support ability is that important that it doesn't, his other abilities just don't matter. So it's like, so for Lyria to matter, she has to be good on her own. She can't only be good in undead teams. So like that's something that does definitely matters, but we'll have to see with Keira. Like I said, being undead, like they do seem to want to be pushing this undead theme. So we definitely have to see how this shakes up. But yeah, not too much more to say on this one. Like I said, I did a short video about Lyria, like, you know, like a few days ago when they gave me the preview. I talked about her anti-dodge ability and what it could mean for the metagame. If you want to see that video, you can find it down below. As always, thank you for watching.